has Pakistan requested assistance from the UK in locating assets of Pakistani citizens? How cooperative has the UK been?
Pakistan, our federal investigating agency, which deals with financial crimes, they have written MLAs, mutual legal assistant. They have sent 272 requests to richer countries, 50 of them to Britain. And the whole idea was to get information of these rich crooks parked in London, buying expensive properties or offshore accounts, wanting assistance. But unfortunately, so far the response has not been very good.
Have you raised this matter personally with the UK Prime Minister?
I was going to, when I was going to tour England, but so far I haven't had an opportunity to visit England. There were a lot of issues going on at the time when Theresa May invited me, but then there was that Brexit situation. And, I haven't had a chance since then because, of COVID mainly. COVID has disrupted all our plans. Of course I want to, when I do go to Britain, I want to have a really detailed discussion that, it's just not Pakistan. As I said, the poor countries are getting poorer. The gap between the rich and poor countries is getting wider and wider. And if this continues, what you see is a trickle of economic migrants right now. You see them risking their lives trying to get to richer countries. But this is going to become a flood over a period of time because the population of the developing countries is increasing much faster as compared to the rich countries. And as this gap increases, the desire for economic migrants to keep going on to richer countries is just going to increase. So the richer countries must do something about it. If we have to take action, the countries like ours do not have the resources. We do not, the big crooks, the rich crooks have access to expensive lawyers. The government lawyers cannot match them. So our capacity to tackle this white-collar crime is limited compared to the richer countries. So in my opinion, if we have to save so many human lives dying out of poverty, then the richer countries must come forward and treat money taken out of poor countries, money laundered out of poor countries, the same way as terror financing and as drug money. Because these two, terror financing and drug money, affect the richer countries, the laws are very strict. But there's hardly any attempt to stop this plunder of the poor countries.
Mona, we spoke to Shahzad Akbar, and he mentioned the same thing, that you'd approached, and initiated mutual legal assistance in terms of accounts held in Switzerland or in the UK. But the feeling I got when I look at Pakistan and how vibrant the politics is here and how intense it is, there seemed to be, that aspect seemed to be a little bit lacking in the government's approach, the Pakistan government's approach in trying to get money back from Switzerland and the UK and
we have tried. I mean, I guess it's a question of now hiring more expensive lawyers abroad. But you see, we still, I mean, when you look at the laws, they basically favor, I mean, I'm talking about the richer countries as a whole, they tend to favor the crooks. It is so complicated to get your money back. What should happen? And I really believe that to save so many millions of lives from poverty-related deaths in developing countries, I really believe that in rich countries, or in any country, there should be a law that the moment, for instance, Pakistan wants information about a certain individual living in millions of dollars of property they are owning in London, then if we want help from the UK or any other country, then the only consideration UK should have is that they should ask the person that, can you prove that you brought this, you bought this money from a legal income? Can you prove that you've legally transferred this money? And if he can't, then that money should be repatriated to our country or any poor country. But it is very complex right now to get your money back.
Why do you think that the UK is so generous to the Sharif family in particular? Do you think that this is just their negligence, or is there something behind it that, I mean, they're doing?
Well, number one, it's important to know, when they say political victimization. Nawaz Sharif's sons left this country, absconded, when they were asked questions about the millions of dollars of properties they've got in London. But that was when Nawaz Sharif's government was in power. When PMLN was in power, their sons ran off. Ishaq Dar, the finance minister, ran away when Nawaz Sharif's government was in power, not when we were in power. And Shahbaz Sharif's son-in-law and son-in-law ran away when their government was in power. The son ran away when we probed into their money laundering. So they can't say it's victimization, because this happened before us. But I feel that there is no incentive for rich countries to repatriate money or take action against these people, because they benefit from them. There are countries that are benefiting from money stolen from our countries and which are parked there. There are countries in the Middle East. They are benefiting from billions of dollars which flow into their properties and their businesses, stolen from this country. So what incentive would they have? We are the ones who suffer. So, and this is the dilemma. We don't have the resources to get the money back, and they don't have any incentive to send it back to us. So this is the big problem which is now the entire developing world is facing. Because nothing can be done, and this wealth is being stripped from their countries and taken abroad, they can't do anything. I mean, why have these haven destinations? Why have offshore accounts? Why shouldn't people pay their taxes? Why should there be a world order where some less than 100 people, their wealth is equal to half the population on this earth? Almost 3.5 billion people, their wealth is equal to just 70 or 80 people. There has to be something wrong with this world order. So these are these offshore accounts where they can park their saved taxes, where they can park their corruption money, and they're protected legally. And this is the challenge. In coming years, this is going to be a big challenge, because what it's doing is that the poverty in the poor countries is increasing as we speak. The poor countries are getting poorer, and at the same time, the rich countries will be under pressure from economic migrants. And this situation is going to get aggravated. So this system has to change.